Natural Grocers over off of Wadsworth. She's our frequent presenter and wonderful educator, and she's going to talk to us about how to ensure that our home is healthy and green and safe for us on this Earth Day 2021.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you for having me today and to spend time with you all on Earth Day, a very important day where we can admire this beautiful planet and try to work together to keep it healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off. I just want to welcome Bonnie and Denise, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off, and then we will go ahead and get started. And so let me get that turned off, stop video, there we go. All right, so this is called How Healthy is Your Home, or Creating a Healthy Home. So this class is not intended to diagnose, treat, or mitigate any disease. Dietary supplements and foods can interact with prescription medications. So if you are taking a prescription medication, become informed about the possible interactions. So we take great care of our bodies. So we do things like eating vegetables or maybe buying organic, choosing pasture-based grass-fed meats. We may try to keep our blood sugar in balance, and we might get our exercise regularly, getting your heart rate up, and weightlifting and weight-bearing exercises. We try to take care of our relationships. We go to counseling, we read books, we nurture our friendships. And then, of course, we do things to take care of our brains. We might meditate or do brain games. I'm a big fan of brain games. I love those. And we read, and we might take supplements like ginkgo or phosphatidylserine or lion's mane. These are all things that we do. We even take care of the health of our cars. So what big picture item is missing from our holistic perspective? What about your home? So most of us don't consider the health impact of the things we put in our homes. So we avoid GMOs, herbicides, pesticides, but what about the chemical off-gassing of the furniture we just purchased? The plasticizers and harmful chemicals in our carpets, the formaldehyde in our laminate floors, the metal in our beds, the radiation from our Wi-Fi and cell phones, the magnetic fields from our electrical wiring. So the best diet and exercise plan may not be all you need to stay healthy if you are living in a toxic environment. So this was a term that was new to me. This is called building biology. And it is the joyful science that leads to natural, healthy, ecological homes, schools, and workplaces that exist in harmony with the planetary environment. And so after World War II, when homes were built rapidly, they strayed from that original building techniques that incorporated nature and healthy building materials. So what they started to use was newer construction practices and materials that were chemically based. And our health decline of the occupants in those new homes led to the science of what's called building biology in Germany. And building biology was introduced to the US in 1987 to address sick building syndrome. I actually remember when that term first came out, and I remember thinking sick building because I was just a teenager in 1987. And so I remember wondering what that was. And so we're going to talk about all of these different things that we can do to keep our homes healthier. So our third skin. So building biology considers our home to be our third skin. So our skin is our first protective barrier, and it keeps unwanted microbes and toxins out. And it's also an open system that breathes and allows constant exchange between inside and out. Our clothing is our second skin, and our home and workplace is our third. So our clothing and homes should have the same open system qualities as our skin has. We would not put toxic chemicals on our skin, or at least I would hope not. Why would we want to wear toxic clothing or put toxic chemicals in our homes? And one of the things that I will point out is that here at Natural Grocers, we are very careful about the quality of our health and beauty products. We don't allow those chemical sunscreens or chemicals in any of our products. We definitely want, because your skin is your body's largest organ, we want to make sure that we're putting clean stuff on, clean products on our skin. So considerations for your living space. We want to assess the health of our home. So we'll begin by looking at the following 13 points. And we are assessing air quality, materials used in the home, and electromagnetic radiation. So we're going to look at ample natural ventilation, creating a healthy sleeping sanctuary, free flow cosmic terrestrial radiation, electromagnetic radiation safety from outside sources, healthy cleaning products, drinking water purity, healthy supporting color schemes in our homes, especially in our bedrooms, non-toxic natural finishes throughout, eliminating toxic combustion byproducts, and EMR safety in-house, healthy radiant heating, acoustic protection in the walls and windows, and flow-through walls and moisture control. So with our air quality, we want to ask ourselves, how is the air quality of the air that you breathe? Did you know that the air indoors is almost always more toxic and polluted than the air outdoors? Think about the items in your home, like cleaning supplies, varnishes and furnishes on the floors of furniture, paint on the walls, furniture made with synthetic materials and foam, curtains and bedding made from synthetic materials, gas from your stove or heating elements, dust, chemicals from carpets, etc. So all of these chemicals get trapped inside your home with nowhere to go, especially during the colder or hotter times of the year when you close up your home to turn on the air conditioning or the heater. So concerns. So we have what's called volatile organic compounds, which is an off-gassing. And those are chemicals that are found in furnitures, carpets, building materials, and electronics. And they include things like toluene, flame retardants, formaldehyde, acetones, hydrocarbons, and hundreds more. And many are known carcinogens, endocrine disruptors, which to me is a very scary one because that causes a hormonal imbalance in both men and women, which can lead to more significant illnesses or diseases. Of course, these can cause respiratory issues, and so the list goes on. And so the solution for this is be an informed shopper. You want to know what you're bringing into your home. So you want to buy furniture that's made with solid wood, wicker, latex, cotton, and natural coverings. You want to avoid cabinets, door closets made of plywood and particle board. Use solid wood if you're able to. And be aware of clothes with flame retardants, especially kids' clothes. And that's the same thing with your bedding, and especially like in children's cribs. We want to make sure that we're putting in organic cotton, things like that. And so you can purchase a bed made with cotton, wool, or latex, and we want to avoid foams, plastics, and metal coils. And then this is interesting, buy a used car rather than new due to the toxic overload of chemicals. Air out cars as much as possible. And so many options exist for the natural bedding. Just Google it. And children's clothes, like I was saying, are notorious for flame retardant chemicals, and many harmful effects have been associated with these chemicals. So studies done on children and adults wearing clothes containing flame retardants show that the chemical ends up in their urine. So another concern is our cleaning products, and other chemicals that we use in our home. So toxic chemicals include most brands are phthalates, perchloroethylene or perc, triclosan, 2-butoxy ethanol, chlorine, ammonia, bleach, heavy metals, etc. And so these can have significant health effects, which result when we're chronically exposed to these chemicals. So you want to be an informed shopper. You want to know what you're bringing into your home. And so you want to buy natural cleaning products like those sold at Natural Grocers. You can also make your own. We have a recipe that I can actually share with Claire later on. I forgot to include that one, but that way you can make your own products that are safe and effective and inexpensive. And what I like about our products that we sell or making your own is that you're actually targeting killing the right kind of bacteria and viruses on your surfaces in your home without killing everything. So one of the problems with the past year of COVID is that people have gone crazy creating an ultra clean environment, which actually disrupts a lot of balance, and it can create antibiotic and virus resistant bacteria, I should say antibiotic resistant bacteria and viruses. And so these solutions are much healthier choices without all the heavy chemical fragrances and things like that. So of course the solution is to make your own or come in and we've got plenty for you to choose from. And you can also check out the Environmental Working Group's website for information about specific chemicals. And so you just go to ewg.org. Other concerns would be that you have ample natural ventilation. So ask yourself, do you have fresh air coming into your home? And outdoor air is always going to be cleaner than indoor air due to that chemical load of our furniture cleaning products, clothing, finishes, carpet, varnishes, and building material. And so flow through walls and moisture control. So you want to ask yourself, is my house so tight or energy efficient that there is no flow through in your walls? Vapor barriers that are code and construction today have a high opportunity of trapping moisture in the walls, ceilings, and floors. And over 50% of buildings in America are contaminated with mold. And this is a very serious thing. Mold is a serious health condition, and it can go undiagnosed for literally years and cause devastating symptoms. Ensuring your living and working spaces are free from mold is absolutely imperative. And so some signs or symptoms of prolonged mold toxicity are chronic sinus problems, mold-induced asthma, nosebleeds, skin infections like rashes, neurological problems, fatigue, aches and pains, watery eyes, sore throat, nausea, and vomiting. And formaldehyde exposure can also cause some of these same symptoms. But you can see how this would be easy for medical practitioners to miss that that these are all symptoms of mold toxicity. So the solutions for this are to open your windows. Yes, even in the winter. Now, I've got to admit, I'm not so good about this. I am not a cold weather person. And so the idea of opening my windows when it's really, really cold is kind of hard for me. But every time I teach this class, I always tell myself I'm going to be better about that. But you want to get a full air exchange of your indoor living space. And that should happen about every hour. So you want to let moisture dry out. You want to run bathroom fans when taking a shower and leave on for 15 minutes after. If you are able to shower with your bathroom door open, that's another great thing that you can do to let all that steam out. You want to use ventilation fans over your ovens and stoves when you're cooking. And if you experience a water leak of any kind, you want to make sure that you clean it up immediately and let it dry out, because mold can begin to grow within 24 to 48 hours after a leak. So we want to be wary of having foliage planted next to our house that needs to be watered. You want to water your plants, not your house. And if you have any concerns about mold, you can have some type of a qualified professional or building biologist and come in and do some testing for you and to seek remediation if necessary. So the other thing that we want to look at that's a concern is making sure that we have a healthy HVAC system, heating and cooling. So most homes in the US use an HVAC system or forced air, and the ductwork can be a breeding ground for dust, bacteria, and fungi. And this dirty air is fried by heat, causing more health issues. And then, of course, it's blown into your living space. So negatively affects the ion balance and electromagnetic climate in your home. So some of the solutions are you can use radiant heat if possible, like radiators and radiant floor systems. This is one that I really feel is very important. You can have your ductwork clean every 2 years and utilize fountains and running water for positive ion balance. You can open windows and use fans in the summer for cooling. And if you're able to avoid air conditioning, try to do that. It's okay for us to be cold or hot, and the temperature fluctuations are actually good for the body. So studies have linked a healthy ion balance in the home with improved mental and physical health. So we are exposed to positive ions through TVs, refrigerators, personal computers, microwave ovens, etc. And negative ions are found in fresh mountain air, breezy beaches, running streams and rivers, and indoor water fountains can create negative ions. And negative ions reach your bloodstream and support healthy serotonin levels to support a healthy mood. And so, with an indoor water fountain, whenever the water is ruptured, as in a water splash, you release negative ion charges into the air. You can also use salt lamps that may give off negative ions as well. So I really like to have those. I have two salt lamps in my office here at work. So I think that that's another great thing to look at. So other concerns are toxic combustion byproducts, and that usually originates from our heating and cooking sources. And in too tight of homes, these combustibles stay inside where we breathe them in, and they can affect every organ of the body. And some of those early symptoms include depression, fatigue, irritability, cognitive issues, and neurological damage. So solutions for that is if your home has any gas-fired appliances, make sure you have a working carbon monoxide detector and ensure the garage is properly isolated from the main structure or park your cars outside. Open windows often, and remember you want that full air exchange every single hour, even in the winter. And have your gas appliances checked often to ensure they are functioning properly. And of course, make sure all vents are adequately vented to the outside and are not loose and do not have loose seals. So next we're going to talk about water quality. So you may already be aware of the quality of the water that you drink by using a filter or reverse osmosis machines like the ones we sell here at Natural Grocers. But do you consider the water that you bathe in? So chemicals like fluoride, chlorine, and chloramines may actually be stronger and more dangerous when inhaled than when ingested. So that is always something that I've always liked to have is a shower filter just for that reason. And many of you, and if you don't know this, you might choose to get your water from our water machine. It is 25 cents a gallon and it is reverse osmosis, and it's excellent quality, and it removes all the impurities that we're about to talk about. So some of the concerns with our drinking and bathing water is common contaminants. So it can be anything from microbial, bacteria, parasites, and algae, as well as viruses. And then it can have those inorganic metals, think copper, aluminum, iron, bronze, minerals like salt and asbestos, silicates, arsenic, fluoride. I mean, it's a lovely concoction here that we have in our water. as well as mineral-based chemicals and non-metallic elements like silicon, phosphorus, arsenic, lead, fluoride, and chlorine. And organic, other than microbial, man-made synthetic chemicals such as solvents, petroleum-based chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and PCBs. Numerous health effects from all of these contaminants are too many to list and beyond the scope of this class. So the solutions are know what's in your water. So you can have it tested. You can download your city's water quality report because they have to provide one annually. You want to filter your water. So there are many different filtering devices, but like I was saying, reverse osmosis is the only filtration system that addresses all the contaminants that we've listed here. And like I was saying, all Natural Grocers stores have the reverse osmosis station for 25 cents a gallon. And you can consider a whole house filtration system. Bathing, showering in contaminated water can still adversely affect your health, specifically from chlorine. And years ago, I remember a report that came through that said Denver's tap water was equally, it had as much chlorine in it as an average pool, like a swimming pool that you would go swimming at. And so, but one thing, if just to let you know, if you're going to get your reverse osmosis water, that you make sure to add minerals back in. So I drink our reverse osmosis water and I use the trace minerals research trace minerals, and I add those back into my water to make sure that I don't lose out on my minerals. The thing about reverse osmosis water is it's so incredibly good at getting rid of chemicals and junky stuff and toxins, but it also blocks your minerals. So always make sure to add those back in. And then you can also buy a shower filter and a bath ball. And so Natural Grocers, we sell many options for those. And our skin, of course, being the largest organ of our body, acts like a very absorptive sponge. So we want to make sure that we are careful about the water that we're drinking and bathing in. So our next thing that we want to cover is electromagnetic radiation, also known as electromagnetic fields. And this is, of course, is a controversial topic due to industry pressure and is way beyond the scope of the or appropriateness of this class. But there is, however, abundant research and data showing the ill health effects of chronic exposure to electromagnetic fields. So microwave radiation has been used as a military weapon and has even been used in China, Russia, and the US for non-lethal crowd control. And the wavelengths penetrate the top layer of the skin, causing a heat sensation that is intended to send people fleeing. That's why it works for crowd control. And we're going to learn just how much we are exposed to this type of thing. So, of course, the concern is that the electromagnetic fields and radiation cause disruptions in the body's own electrical field. So symptoms include oxidative stress, irritability, tinnitus, headaches, fatigue, insomnia, mood issues, nausea, cognitive issues, blood sugar imbalance, decreased sperm count, vertigo, brain fog, immune challenges, etc. So dramatic increases of these fields in the last few years are impossible to avoid, and increase in frequency and intensity of field planned by industry. This means more exposure to these fields in the future with no concern from government or industry. So some sources of that are going to be cell phones, Wi-Fi, tablets, TVs, smart meters, smart appliances, fitness tracking devices, cordless phones, baby monitors, Bluetooth, cell towers, and microwave ovens. And by the way, another thing that's being linked with these radio frequencies is high blood pressure. So to show you what's going on here. So first of all, cell towers and antennas are being disguised more and more. So they're made to look like flagpoles, trees, spires on buildings, inside church spires, on light poles, etc. And so we might not know that we are near one or looking at one. So if you look at the front of this auto body repair shop, the picture as you're looking at the screen would be on your left. That one, uh, that actually, that big tower is a cell phone tower. And then the picture as you're looking at your screen to the right is the back side of the building, and that reveals an enormous amount of wiring needed to run that tower. And so the people who work in this auto body shop are greatly exposed to electrical and radio frequencies that are a billion times higher than the safe limits set by the Federal Communication Commission. So they're being exposed to incredibly high levels of these radiation frequencies. And the safe limits that are set may not be so safe. New 5G technology is even worse. So think about all our 5G coming out. Researchers have found that sweat ducts in human skin act as helical antennas, and this means the ducts acted as receptors for 5G radiation, allowing them to not only capture the radiation, but to concentrate and amplify it. Scientists already know the electromagnetic field radiation is absorbed by the skin up to 1/64th of an inch, and that 5G radiation penetrates skin more aggressively than any other type of radiation currently emitted from consumer electronics. I totally recommend that people avoid getting 5G cell phones if at all possible. So the solutions are use a landline. I know I'm kind of a old-fashioned person, but I do still have a landline. And like it says, really, it's okay. They still work. They really do. And often I've found that my home phone works better than my cell phone, and it's certainly more clear when I'm talking to someone. Now, if you do use a cell phone, you want to keep it in airplane mode as much as possible. And you want to use a corded phone instead of a cordless phone. Cordless phones are like having a mini cell tower in your house, and they give off one of the highest sources of electromagnetic field pollution. You can use a wired Ethernet connection for your computers. At a minimum, you can unplug your Wi-Fi when not in use, specifically at night when you're sleeping. And so be sure to disable your modem's Wi-Fi signal. Limit or do not use personal tracking devices like fitness tracking devices, Bluetooth devices, especially on your body. You want to avoid microwaves and even baby monitors. And you can have your home tested to assess any electromagnetic fields that may need remediation. And they may be coming from outside the house, cell towers, your neighbor's Wi-Fi, smart meters, etc. So you can find out where the cell antennas and towers are at antennasearch.com. So we know that putting away our cell phones might be a little scary for some people. We're very, very addicted to our cell phones, but there are a lot of benefits to putting them away. You might have wonderful human connection. So you might actually talk to people and you could make new friends, you could get exercise, you might even go outside. We're just encouraging people to try it because you just might like it. One thing, I just went on my vacation this past week to Mexico, and I was very, very careful to only use my phone to take pictures. And I would check texts once a day and emails once a day. But Chris Kresser, he is a clinician out of California, and he recommends setting a limit on how many times a day that you look at your devices. And at home, I tend to try to only look at my cell phone 3 times a day. So maybe morning, and then I don't look at it at all when I'm at work. And then I look at it again when I get home from work. And then maybe right before I go to bed, I'll just take a quick peek at it to see if anybody has texted me. But that's about it. And then Chris Kresser also recommends a once a week break from all electronics and to use that time to spend with your family and friends and get out in nature. And then Chris actually recommends no electronics on vacation at all. And I try my best to take that seriously. Sometimes I'm always afraid that if I don't check it while I'm on vacation, that that maybe there's an emergency back home or my emails are going to get out of control. And so what I try to do on vacation is just quickly scan my emails and delete the unimportant ones and just get rid of those. The other thing that you might want to do is to turn off the settings on your phone, that the alert settings. You don't need to be alerted every single time you get a Facebook post or an Instagram post or an email or a text. As a matter of fact, one benefit to my cell phone is that this stupid thing won't even ring, and nobody's ever been able to figure out why it doesn't ring. But in a way, I've been kind of grateful for that. So I just check it once in a while to make sure that no one's tried to call or text me. But I really encourage people to not be tethered to their phones or other devices. So some of these same symptoms for electricity. So these are electric and magnetic fields that mainly come from the electrical wiring in your home, and they will emanate from the wiring in your walls, appliances, lamps, and computers, etc. So those sources are going to be outlets, cables, appliances, TVs, smart meters, smart appliances, lamps, computers, speakers, basically anything that you plug in. So some of the solutions, and I really like these solutions. So you want to make sure that all the wiring in your home is, first of all, up to code. And you want to buy a meter to test your space or hire a professional to test for you. Unplug any appliances when not in use. Maintain at least 6 feet between your bed and all electrical devices. Make sure your living spaces do not back up to large appliances. So for example, don't have your bed against a wall where the refrigerator is on the other side of the wall. You want to turn off breakers to rooms that are not being used, especially to the bedrooms at night. And only use appliances that are grounded. For example, they have a 3-prong plug. Use low voltage halogen light bulbs instead of compact fluorescent lights. And consider products that help mitigate the electromagnetic fields that you're exposed to. This is the one that's one of my favorites. Have lots of plants inside the home because many of them absorb radiation, and cacti are especially good for this. So having a plant in every room also absorbs other toxins like formaldehyde and other pollutants. So NASA did quite a bit of research and found that 1 plant per 100 square feet of floor space is the minimal needed to improve indoor air quality. And so that obviously makes me want to run out and buy even more plants for my home. I really enjoy having them. So other solutions for electromagnetic radiation are, of course, get outside and ground. And what that means is getting your bare skin in touch with the Earth's frequency. The Schumann resonance has shown to modulate inflammation, support a healthy immune system, mitigate stress from electromagnetic field exposure, support a healthy nervous system, support cardiovascular health, help regulate a healthy sleep cycle, and support a healthy response to stress, and much more. So I've always loved being barefoot, and I'm trying to be barefoot more often. So if you get hurt, like let's say you're out hiking and you twist your ankle, take your shoes off and allow your feet to come in contact with either grass or dirt, or if there's a stream nearby, get your feet into the water. And what that does is it just helps the magnetic field within your body to connect with the earth, and it accelerates the healing process from an injury. The book Earthing talks about grounding. So we do carry that book in our store. And so you might consider getting that book for more information. So now we're going to talk about a healthy sleeping sanctuary. And this is something that I personally take very seriously. I love my getting my sleep. I'm a big proponent of helping other people get healthy sleep. And so we're going to look at this carefully. So, of course, the reason why it's so important for us to sleep is because it's critical for our body in order to repair itself. And so we want to create a healthy sleeping environment. And so the body works on very subtle electrical system. Man-made or foreign electrical frequencies are thousands of times stronger. And that, of course, is going to disrupt the body's ability to communicate and repair. So one of the things that a lot of people do is they go to sleep with their TV on, or they have their cell phone underneath their pillow, or the cell phone is right next to the bed and that's what they're using for their alarm. And what this does is it disrupts our sleep patterns because it exposes us to blue light. And when we get exposed to this blue light, it messes up our ability to produce melatonin and serotonin. And so I always tell people make sure that you get the electronics out of your room. I have never allowed a TV in my bedroom. And I encourage others to get rid of your TV out of your bedroom. The other thing is poor air quality can affect respiration, sinuses, and the nervous system of the body. And like we just talked about, that too much blue light or screen time at night can suppress the brain's release of the melatonin. Certain colors used for decorating your walls can be stimulating to the nervous system. So for example, red can, let's say if you had a room that you painted red, it can increase your heart rate and respiration, and it's associated with energy, strength, and passion, and can intensify anger. So red is not a great bedroom color. Pink calms aggression, so that's a better bedroom color. And yellow stimulates mental activity, but too much can make you feel angry. So, but it does help to activate memory and creativity. So if you have like a craft room, you might want to paint it like a nice yellow. Green is associated with safety and stability and is soothing and relaxing color. And then, of course, blue is calming and relaxing effect on the nervous system. But if you do a completely blue room, then it may feel too cool. So you just want to maybe do like maybe a blue wall. And then purple calms the mind and nervous system and encourages creativity and problem solving. And you can also do white, which aids in mental clarity, and it's very simple. And so children's and babies' rooms are also need to be considered. Children's brains are still developing and are more sensitive to electromagnetic fields and toxins in the environment. So some of the solutions is you definitely want to use battery powered clocks near your bed. Electrical alarm clocks can give off highly elevated magnetic fields, interrupting your sleep. And so what I use is a battery operated atomic clock. I love that because it stays dark. If I want to know what time it is, I just push the little button on the top and it lights up for 5 seconds and I can see what time it is and then it goes right back off. So it's not shining that bright light and nor is it emitting any of those electromagnetic fields. If possible, you want to turn off breakers to your bedrooms so the electrical fields from your electrical system can affect the body's biocommunication, keeping you from sleeping deeply. Eliminate, minimize, or shield from radio frequencies. Signals from portable phones, cell phones, and wireless devices have been shown to interfere with the body's immune system. And you also want to use beds without metal. So metal frames and metal box springs can amplify and distort the Earth's natural magnetic fields, which can lead to a non-restful sleep. Use natural materials and make sure there are no elevated magnetic fields. Magnetic fields from appliances and building wiring can penetrate walls into a bedroom and disrupt the body's communication system. And wear blue light blocking glasses at night to help the brain produce melatonin. You can choose soothing, calm colors for the bedroom, like the shades of blue or moss or green, and purchase a canopy for the bed that shields from electromagnetic fields. So in conclusion, you want to ensure that you're not bringing toxic materials into your home. You want to use natural furniture and floor coverings whenever possible. You want to make sure you have no water sources coming into the home. That is so important. And clean up water issues immediately. Contact a building biologist or other certified professional to do a complete inspection if needed, especially if you're suspecting your home is causing your health problems. Use natural cleaning products or make your own. Eliminate electromagnetic field sources whenever possible. Open your windows frequently. Outside air is always cleaner than inside air. Install a carbon monoxide detector in your home. Have your ducts cleaned at least every 2 to 3 years. Investigate your water sources. Use filters if needed. Make your bedroom your sanctuary and breathe easily. So I know we've covered numerous lifestyle related changes in today's presentation. Don't be overwhelmed. Start with small, easy changes and work your way up to addressing some of the bigger issues. So for example, maybe starting with something simple like bringing more plants into your house, or going from drinking tap water to maybe drinking reverse osmosis water with minerals added. Just take small steps. And then when you have like a chance to buy new furniture, new carpeting, things like that, just make sure that you're looking for sources or stores that provide sources of those things that don't have all the chemicals. So just do your best to make small changes. That always leads to bigger changes. And then to let you know, there are different books that we carry. So we carry the book Beyond Training, Earthing, and Lights Out, which is a really good book. And then we have different websites that are included in your 3-up PowerPoint presentation that you can visit to get more information. And what I was going to tell you is that for attending today's presentation, if you come to my store, which I work at the one in Lakewood, my store's address is really easy. It's 3333 South Wadsworth Boulevard. And if you come in by, let me see, today is the 22nd. If you come in within the next 7 days by April 29th, you can pick up a $5 reward for attending this presentation today. We just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend time with me. So just come in and ask any manager on duty to just say, I attended a class, a virtual class with Kelly from the library, and I would like to pick up my $5 coupon for attending. And like I said, we'll have those for you, and they expire on April 29th. Also, if you would like to make an appointment with either myself for free one-on-one coaching sessions, you can do that. My telephone number at work is 303-989-4866. Again, that's 303-989-4866. And we can schedule, right now due to COVID, we are doing the either phone coaching sessions or virtual coaching sessions, but they are always free, and we invite you to do that. Also, we invite you to come in for our, let me pull my camera back up again. Oh, there it is. There we go. Sorry, I just realized I wasn't on here. Also, we're educating people about our nutrient to know about, which is rhodiola. And rhodiola is an amazing adaptogenic plant that helps your body to cope with and produce a healthy stress response in the body, healthy energy levels, and it also supports immune function. So the next time you come into one of our stores, just ask us for information on rhodiola. It's a really cool plant. I encourage you to look it up, and we'll give you information, and you can spend your $5 coupon. We have some great front end specials on it. and we invite you to come in for Earth Day. So obviously today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day, everyone. And we are having our Earth Day event over 3 days. So the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We have great sales going on, and so we invite you all to come in. And so with that being said, Claire, were there any questions that I could answer for you?
Haven't seen anything come into the chat, but folks can also feel free to unmute themselves and ask questions, or you can type them in the chat and I will refer them along.
Yeah, yeah. And also, Claire, I will look for that do-it-yourself cleaning products that people can make and get that sent to you as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
And what was your name again?
My name is Kelly.
Kelly.
Yes, Kelly, and my last name is Andis. N as in Nancy, D as in David, S as in Sam. Andis.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Oh, thank you. I know
Yeah.
sometimes this class comes off a little bit heavy because you have to think about all this stuff that's in your house, and it's like, but at least it gets you thinking in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for anybody who feels like that was way too much information to take in, we will be putting this up on the Bemis Library YouTube channel. So it'll be available probably tomorrow because it takes it a little bit of time for it to process on my computer before I can upload it. But you can always go back and check into that and see if you missed something while you were taking notes, etc. And it looks like we had a question come into chat. And can you see that, Kelly?
No.
Okay.
Let me get up there. Maybe. What is it? Fine. I'm sorry. This is all still new to me.
I can read that out. She was asking.
Could you?
Yeah. So she said she's been taking rhodiola for a couple months, not seeing any results. Should she keep taking it, and what benefits should she be seeing?
Sure. Oh, sure. Okay. So a couple of things about that. Now, one of the things about rhodiola is that most of the research has been done in Russia because it grows in Russia. It grows in Siberia. So it's an incredibly hardy plant. It also grows at very high altitudes, which may help with altitude issues, sickness, that type of thing. And the science on it shows that 200 milligrams a day, usually the effects are felt within 30 minutes of taking it. And what you might notice is like a clean, sustainable burning energy. And that's, so I took it, I just started recently taking it. I had never taken it before. And I decided to buy it for my trip to Mexico. And I could not believe how much energy I had while I was down there. But you also might notice a stronger immune system, that maybe you notice, hey, I don't tend to get those bugs anymore like I once did. But those are the primary sources, and also cardiovascular health is another one that it supports. So I hope that, and you can certainly try it. It depends on lifestyle and a lot of factors. But if you're, obviously, because it gives results usually within 30 minutes of taking it at 200 milligrams. And we just brought in our Natural Grocers rhodiola, and it's 500 milligrams in one pill. And so that is actually the one that I bought, and I really felt it. And all you have to do is take one a day. And so depending on the milligrams in your product, you might need a little bit higher dose if you're not feeling anything from it. And the other thing, it's not a zippy, caffeine, buzzy kind of feeling. It's just that clean, sustainable burning energy.
Right. And then another question, is a 5G phone worse for us than other cell phones?
Yes. Yeah. So if you go to Mercola.com, that's M as in Mary, ERCOLA. Mercola really talks about the dangers of 5G network. And so yeah, just go to Mercola.com, and in his search engine, just type in dangers of 5G or just 5G, and we'll watch what pops up. And he has interviews with experts. He has a fact checker on his so he's got resources, everything on his website. I really like reading his articles, and you can sign up to receive his daily articles. And he touches all kinds of topics that are going on. So definitely look up Mercola.com for 5G information.
And then a follow-up, are we exposed to 5G anyway from the environment and the towers around?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine was recently telling me, and this is a friend of mine that has a little bit of learning disorders, a little mentally not quite, I'm trying to think of the right word, but anyway, she told me that the condo place that she lives in, they approached all the residents and said that the phone company, I can't remember if it was Verizon or T-Mobile or whatever, wanted to put a 5G tower in their community. And if so, that phone company would give the condo community $100,000 to allow that to be put there. And she was excited about it. And I was like, you do not want to live near one of those. Sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes those go up in your neighborhood, and we have very little recourse for fighting it. Once again, Mercola.com, he can tell you, Joseph Mercola can tell you what you can do to try to fight it, to try to keep it out of your neighborhood. But unfortunately, there's no government regulation on it, and very little safety testing. And you know, do you remember earlier in the presentation when I was talking about they use that same thing in crowd control, where they release that radiation and it penetrates through like the first layer of your skin, causing a burning sensation that causes the crowd to disperse. It's not much different with 5G network. It's not a good thing. I don't want a 5G phone at all. And my friend was telling me, well, Kelly, you might not have a choice pretty soon. And she was probably right. Sad.
Another question in chat, just a, I guess, a forecast. Will we see more illnesses because we've had to shelter indoors this last year due to COVID-19?
You know, that is a very interesting question. We as human beings are meant to be in contact with each other. The best defense is a strong immune system. So doing things like taking your vitamin D and making sure your vitamin D levels are where they should be, anywhere between 40 and 80 nanograms per milliliter is where your vitamin D level should be at. If you're under 40, you're too low. And then also vitamin C, quercetin, zinc, elderberry. These are things that you can do. Mushrooms can be fantastic for supporting the health of your immune system. And so do I think we're going to see more conditions, like more colds and flus? Well, of course, those don't really exist anymore now that everything is COVID. Anyway, sorry. I do think we're harming our immune systems. And what else is harming our immune system is the fact that we're over sterilizing everything. We're not meant to live in sterile environments. Even like our cart cleaning, which, you know, I'm not opposed to. We clean our carts in between people's uses. So we have a place for dirty carts and a place for clean carts, and we do clean them. But we would use natural cleaners. We don't, at the very beginning of COVID, we were using bleach, and then we switched over to natural cleaners because the owners of Natural Grocers really understand the dangers of creating antibiotic resistant bacteria, because then that's bacteria that grows so strong that no antibiotic works on it. You may have known someone in your circle of friends or family that has had serious bacterial infections that they just keep giving them antibiotic after antibiotic. And, you know, it goes in talking about Earth Day, it goes even further. The reason for that is that 75% of all antibiotics for human use go straight into conventional cattle. So those, so our meat industry is contaminated with lots of antibiotics. And of course that harms the environment. It is terrible for our immune system. And so I encourage people to eat clean meat, clean dairy products with no hormones, no antibiotics. The animals need to be fed their natural diet. They need to be raised humanely and ended humanely. And that is all we carry here is clean meat and dairy products. And also 100% organic produce. So you never have to question that in our stores. We're very dedicated to it.
Right, wonderful. I don't see anything else coming into the chat, so I think we will wrap up for today. Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm glad we chose to do this one and that it just happened to be on Earth Day, because I think we picked the day and only later went, wait a minute, it's going to be Earth Day. So this was the perfect about our managing our personal environment as we try to get a handle on our communal environment as well. So thank you as always, Kelly. And remember everybody to stop in and see Kelly at the Wadsworth store in the next week to pick up that coupon that she gives us for attending her classes, even virtually. And look for the recording of this on the Bemis Library YouTube channel, hopefully up tomorrow if you want to get a refresher.
Well, I just want to thank you all, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.